We are all bound to make a mistake when we are in the backcountry, so that's why it's super important that we have the right gear to make up for our silly mistakes. This was the exact situation I was in this past weekend. I went out and, I get to my destination, the trailhead I'm getting at. I pack all my gear. I start going out, and for the first, 30 minutes or so, I'm just enjoying my time and going along. And then I look at my phone to look at my GPS map, and lo and behold, I realized I hadn't charged my phone on the whole drive over. So typically, I always like to have 100% charge on my phone. I think I was at about 45%. And so I knew that, within the next, 24 hours or so, that was going to keep dwindling down to a point where I might not have any power in my cell phone on the way back. But luckily, I had the perfect piece of gear to make up for my silly mistake. That is the Goal Zero Flip 24 power bank right here. So this is one of their models they have. They have a bigger model, I believe it's called the Flip 36, but I went for the Flip 24 simply because it's smaller and lighter. I'm always trying to think about ways to maximize efficiency and weight and all that kind of stuff. And, so far this has done everything that I needed to do. Now, they claim on their website that this is good enough for 2 charges. That personally has not been my experience. It's good enough for 1 charge. However, that hasn't been an issue because I pair it with their Nomad 5 solar panel. So they have other sizes of this as well. I believe the Nomad 10 and Nomad 15 or 20 or something like that. They get bigger as the numbers get bigger. But I, again, just go with the Nomad 5 because I like simplicity, I like lightweight, and also just fewer things to kind of be messing around with inside of my pack. So let me talk about these kind of in tandem and also separately. So this right here weighs about 5 ounces, a little bit under 5 ounces. So it is very lightweight, and you charge it using the USB right here. So I typically just plug this into my computer, the night before I head out on any kind of excursion. And when I wake up the next morning, I just pull it out and boom, it is ready to go. And it always tells you how much juice it has left in it by looking at these lights right here. So on the USB, let's make sure this comes out. You can see that it says, you can kind of see, it says press right there. It's a little bit blurry, but it says press right there. And so then when you do press it, you see the light show up. So right now it only has 1 light, and so it's on kind of like the lowest end. If it was fully charged, all 4 of those lights would be showing up. So it's kind of nice. It always shows you where it stands in terms of charging. Now, when you do charge your gear, it's not a fast charge, so it's not one of those things where, an hour later you'll have a full charge. It does take a couple hours, but as long as you kind of plan things accordingly, it's not really going to affect you in any way, shape, or form. And again, I just like how compact it is, I like how lightweight it is, and I also like this color too, simply because they have another one in black, I believe, but I always like to get pieces of gear that are easy to find, easy to stand out, because if you accidentally drop something on the ground, having a funky green color, will help stand out unless it falls on grass. So then, yeah, let's say though that you're on an extra long excursion and you're gonna have to do multiple charges. Well, like I said, this only will give you 1 charge, at least in my experience. So what do you do in that case? Well, then you pair it with the solar panel. So this solar panel connects perfectly to the power bank. So I'm gonna flip the USB again right here, and we're gonna change the stand here because obviously you want this facing the sun. And then you'll see right here that there is a plug for the USB right there. So all you have to do is slide this over here and use both hands here. Oops. And there we go. It is plugged in right now. So then this, would then just be facing the sun, and we are off to the races. After a certain while, this will be fully charged. So again, this is their smaller solar panel. They have 2 sizes that are bigger than this, but for me, for my purposes, this is more than enough. If you're in a very large group and you're all relying on 1 power bank and 1 solar panel, I think in that instance, it definitely makes sense to have some of the bigger ones. But if it's just for yourself, you're not having to worry about everyone else in your group, having the Flip 24 and the Nomad 5 solar panel is really all you need in order to, even for long excursions, right? If you're out there for 10, 12, 14 days, yes, you're gonna have to do it a couple times, but that's really simple and easy to do. It's not a hassle, at least not in my opinion. So for me, these are must-have pieces of gear for when you make a ridiculous mistake like I do, or you're on an extended excursion. You're gonna need this regardless, even if you're at 100% when you get off the trailhead. So if you don't have anything like this in your gear kit, I definitely highly recommend it, because I can assure you at some point you're going to be very relieved that you do. So if you are interested in either of these pieces of product, I'll have links for them down below. As always, if you have any questions about this piece of gear in particular, just let me know. I appreciate you tuning in. And by the way, if you haven't done so already, the best way to support this channel is by subscribing. So please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate any support that comes my way. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.